3, in this we will continue with the light transmitting structures that got cut. Okay, so we were seeing about lens, the second structure. First one we have dealt with aqueous humor. So now we will deal with lens. So lens, we know that we have seen that it is behind the iris and pupil, and it is attached to the ciliary body by means of suspensory ligaments of lens. So lens is having ligaments which is holding this, which is attached to the ciliary body. So the ligaments are attached, to the ciliary body. Okay, so by means of suspensory ligaments of lens. So lens ligaments are holding on to the ciliary body. The thickness of lens is controlled by ciliary muscle through suspensory ligament. So the thickness of the lens is also based upon the ciliary muscle, okay, through the suspensory ligament. So remember that lens is attached to the ciliary body through the suspensory ligaments. So the size also depends upon the ciliary muscle, okay, which is through the suspensory ligament. The lens focuses light entering through pupil on the retina. The lens focuses light. So when you see the lens, it focuses the light which enters through pupil on the retina. Okay, next you have vitreous humor. It is a jelly-like fluid which fills the space between lens and retina. So it is a jelly-like fluid. Okay, so when you see this, remember aqueous is liquid, this is like jelly, okay, which fills the space between lens and retina. So mainly this covers the lens and the retina. It maintains the shape of the eye. So it is this vitreous humor which helps in shaping of the eye. It helps in maintenance of the shape of the eye. It gives shape and firmness to retina, and it keeps the retina in contact with choroid and sclera. So it is this jelly, okay, which is the vitreous humor, which keeps the retina in contact with choroid and sclera, SC, remember. So when we say SC, it is the outer covering, okay, outer coat of the eyeball. So this retina is attached, or it is kept in contact with sclera and cornea with the help of this vitreous humor. So these are the three light transmitting structures: aqueous humor, lens and vitreous humor. Okay, next we will move on to mechanism of sight. So we will see how exactly it helps in the eyesight. So the mechanism of sight is as follows. First, what happens? So it is given in terms of 6 steps. So we will go through one step by the other, okay, and we will see how it helps in the mechanism of seeing. So mechanism of sight is as follows. Light enters the eye through the cornea, which acts as an entrance window for light. So when light enters, okay, it enters through the cornea and it acts as the entrance window, or it acts as the main entrance, okay, into a room. How you come? You open a door, right? So like a door or an entrance, this cornea acts. Light enters the eye through the cornea, which acts as an entrance window for light. Second, iris and the pupil regulate the amount of light entering the eye. So it is controlled. The amount of light entering is controlled by the iris and pupil. Okay, all should check this pupillary reaction. Okay, ask if you have a friend, or you have a sibling. Sibling is brother or sister, or you can take your mother's help or father's help. Take a light, okay, you can check on others, and you can, if they want to see, you can ask them to check it on yourself. Okay, take a light and then pass, ask the person to look straight, and you take the torch light from the sideways. You have to bring. Automatically when light is applied, you will see the pupil will dilate. Once when you move, you can see the pupil closes. Okay, so it is the iris and the pupil which control the amount of light entering the eye. First point, light enters through cornea, okay, and the entering and through a entrance, so it acts like a window. Okay, secondly, we have seen that when the light is entered, the amount of light entering is controlled by the iris and the pupil. Thirdly, the image is then focused through the lens on the retina. Okay, in the notes here somebody has written in Malayalam and all. I have not written. Okay, just read the English version there. Okay, so what happens? The lens, the image. So when the light enters, there is an image, right? So that is focus. The image is focused by the lens, okay, by the lens on the retina. So when it enters through the cornea, iris and the pupil, okay, it regulates, okay, so it controls or regulates the amount of the light that is entering, and then we get to see that the image that is focused through the lens on the retina. After it is controlled, then the image what we are seeing, it is focused. How do we focus? The part that is getting involved is the lens on the retina, okay. So fourth, the pigmented choroid darkens the interior of the eye. Pigmented, why pigmented? Because they have pigments, high blood supply is there, okay. The pigmented choroid, it darkens the interior of the eye. So when the image is actually focused on the lens, okay, through the lens on the retina, what happens? The pigmented choroid, it darkens the interior of the eye. This reduces scattering and reflection of light. So this helps in reduction, okay, or reduce means kam karna, scattering, not just scattering like that. It helps in good focus, okay. When the when the choroid darkens, when it becomes dark, or when it darkens the interior surface of the eye, automatically what happens? There is a less of scattering and reflection of light. Okay, now whenever you see film, when you go to theater, would they put light everywhere? No, they switch it off. Why? So that the dark background can actually help you to focus, and your picture would be clear. Even when you are watching TV, right, in the daytime, whenever you put screen, or in the classroom, OHP, when we do the OHP projection, when we cover with the screen, what happens? Less refraction of the light and focus is increased. Likewise, in the eyes also, the image, okay, when it is actually focused through the lens on the retina, immediately the next step that happens is the choroid, the pigmented choroid, it will darken the interior surface of the eye, so that scattering and reflection of light will be reduced. Understood? We give you dark area. Why? So that you can focus properly on the projection. Likewise, when the image is being taken through the lens on the retina, immediately the pigmented choroid, it will darken the interior surface of the eyes, okay, so that it can reduce the scattering and reflection of light. Understand? Okay. Next we will move on to fifth point. The image then stimulates the receptors present in the rods and cones of retina. So what they will do? Immediately they will, all the image that has been focused, right, through the lens, okay, so it will be stimulating the receptors that is present in the rods and cones, because these rods and cones only will send the impulses to the optic nerve. Remember, we studied, okay, so these are special structures which has got receptors in it. So the image, whatever has been taken by the lens on the retina, it will stimulate the receptors that is present in the rods and cones of retina. Image is passed on to the retina, so once when they go there, immediately they will stimulate the receptors that is found in the rods and cones. For what reason? Sixth, because these impulses, because they will send impulse to the optic nerve. These impulses are then carried through the optic nerve. The optic nerves of both sides cross at optic chiasma. Okay. So now what will happen? So in the diagram you can see, okay, how eyeballs are there, retina, optic nerve, then you have optic chiasma, optic tract, okay. Okay, so these impulses are carried then through optic nerve. The optic nerves, so you have both the eyes, so both the eyes you will have the sides, pair of optic nerve of both sides, and they will cross. So they will come like this and they will cross. In the diagram you can see, okay, that there is a crossing of the optic chiasma, okay. So the optic nerves of both sides are cross cross at optic chiasma. Okay, optic nerve comes like this from the both eye and then it crosses, and that point is called as optic chiasma. Okay, chiasma. From the optic chiasma, the impulses are carried by optic tract to visual cortex present in the occipital lobe of brain. Here the image is perceived. Okay, so from the optic nerve, very easy it is, right? So from the cornea it goes to the lens, right? What controls the light? We see that it is important to reduce the the reflection of the light and scattering of the light, and which is done by the which is done the amount. Okay, so light enters the eye. Okay, so from the beginning we'll see, so light enters into the eye, and then we see that iris and pupil, they control the amount of light that enters, and then from there what happens, the image is actually taken by the lens on retina, and then the rods and cones, the special structures are, okay, the receptors are immediately stimulated, so the signal or the impulses are sent to the optic nerve, and these optic nerve cross together, okay, at a point called as optic chiasma. So from optic chiasma, the impulses that are carried will be sent to the optic tract to visual cortex present in the occipital lobe of brain, and immediately the person will be able to perceive the image, means get to know whom you are seeing. For example, suddenly you see your uncle, right? So when you see again, so it passes through the cornea, and the light is actually, the amount, exposure should be there. Can you see and recognize anybody in the dark room? It does not happen, right? So even in a bright light, you have to perceive who this is. For that you require your eyesight. If you are blind, if you cannot see, you will not know who is standing in front of you until a person talks to you, right? So when you see, okay, when your vision, when your eyes are functioning properly, when you see a person with adequate light, immediately, it enters into the cornea, and then the amount of light is controlled by the iris and pupil, and the image is actually carried on through the lens on the retina. There the special structure gets stimulated, okay, the receptors of the rods and cones get stimulated. Then we see that these rods and cones send the impulses to the optic nerve. So from the optic nerve it crosses at each other at a point called as optic chiasma. From optic chiasma it reaches the optic tract. Then the impulses goes to the visual cortex present, okay, visual cortex present in the brain, okay, that is the occipital lobe, okay, occipital lobe of the brain. Then you understand, oh, this is my uncle. Okay, so when we are studying, there is such a thing, it looks like a long process, but brain works like this, right? So when you see, immediately you get to know, oh, this is the person. You think, the thought comes. So this is how it enables seeing. Okay, so yeah, I think I will stop with this. Okay, so mechanism of sight. The mechanism of sight, again I repeat, light enters through the cornea, which acts as the window. Then the amount of light is controlled by iris and pupil. And then what does the choroid do? Okay, choroid helps in the, okay, so the image, first the image is actually focused by the lens on the retina. Then the pigmented choroid darkens the interior surface of the eye, which reduces the scattering and reflection of light, and then the image then stimulates the receptors that is present in the rods and cone. These impulses are then carried through optic nerve on the both sides. It crosses at optic chiasma. From there it is passed on to, the impulses are carried by optic tract to visual cortex present in the occipital lobe of the brain. Here the image is perceived. Okay, so very important mechanism of sight. The diagram is given. The light enters into the entrance of the cornea. Okay, it acts as a window. Then second point, you have this iris and pupil which controls the light. Third, what happens? Image is focused through the lens on the retina. Then you have the choroid, right, which the pigmented choroid, it darkens the interior surface of the eyes. Why? To reduce the scattering and reflection of the light. then we see that these the image, okay, so the image stimulates the receptors of the retina, that is rods and cones. They send impulses to the optic nerve, and optic nerve cross each other at optic chiasma. From there the impulses are carried via the optic tract to visual cortex, which is present in the occipital lobe of the brain. And what happens here? Here the image is perceived. I hope you understand all this 6 points. Okay, please study. Any doubt you can ask me. Don't get confused. See the diagram. Okay, from the cornea. Second point, iris and pupil. Third point is the image focused through the lens on the retina. Fourth, pigmented choroid, it darkens the interior surface, and the reason why. And these image, it stimulates the receptors of rods and cone. They send impulses to the optic nerve. So the optic nerve, each optic nerve cross at optic chiasma. Optic chiasma carries the impulses to the optic tract to visual cortex present in the occipital lobe of the brain. Then there the image is perceived. This is mechanism of eye. So if they ask you eye structure, okay, you need not write the what? Mechanism. You can just write about the accessory structure. You have to write eyebrow, eyelid, lacrimal apparatus. You have to draw the diagram, extrinsic muscles of the eye. Then you should write about the eyeball, the 3 coats. Okay, and then you should also write about the structures of light transmitting. Till there you have to write if the question is asked about structure of an eye. Next, mechanism of eyesight, if they ask you, then only the mechanism you should write with the diagram. Okay, okay, fine.